Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, May 12th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here very soon. So if you're liking what you see here and you want to learn more about this tool, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. So again, if you like what you see here, certainly get signed up for the free class. Couple clarification points. First off, the market is still open for a little bit of time, so that price will still be changing around and the candlesticks will still be moving. But I like to do these videos when the market's still open for a little bit because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day type price movement. But the market is close enough to being done for the day where everything I talk about will still be relevant as we head into Thursday. And then I will be using the 30-minute time frame. So if you're beginners out there, what that means is each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, RDBX. Crazy mover today, especially that opening part of the day. First 30 minutes, next 30 minutes, you can see a huge bounce, and then things basically collapsed. But this is also what brings about the interesting dynamic moving forward, and that's what a watch list is all about: finding unique situations, finding interesting situations, and then not automatically rushing into them, but watching them and seeing if they behave in a way that fits your personal strategy. And what makes this interesting in my mind is potential for a double bottom pattern. You can see that was low number one, and then on the big nasty move all the way down, well, wouldn't you know it, basically stopped right again at that previous low, which brings about the question of, is this some sort of double bottom? Now, there are no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it a plausible thought process to have that maybe, just maybe, this is some sort of double bottom and maybe this gets some more continuation upwards? Yeah, it absolutely is, but that's a two-sided coin because maybe it's not. Maybe it's just going to, continue to back downwards, but that's why risk management and risk control matters. But as far as interesting situations, if you like to play potential double bottoms, if you like this price range, then this one should certainly be on the watch list. Next one, AFI, for you penny stock players out there. I like this one because of a very well-defined level. So let me be very clear. I'm not trying to imply, I'm not trying to, make it seem like I have some sort of special talent or this is a great discovery. I assure you, a bunch of people around the world have drawn that trend line right there. And I say that because when lots of people are watching the same level, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it valid to think that if the price can recover back up to that trend line and get the break up through it, that break could create some good upside buying pressure? That's absolutely a valid thought process to have. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. And then as far as supports are concerned, if you like to play pullbacks, interesting area as a potential pullback point right down here around the 34-cent mark. So overall, keep an eye on that. But like I said, in my opinion, at least the most interesting dynamic is that trend line. But overall, no doubt about it, big volume. And if you like to play penny stocks, then this is one that's worth watching. Next one, RBLX had earnings and almost a mirror image of RDBX, that opening one where you had that first 30 minutes, very strong. Next 30 minutes, very strong. And then pulled back here. And the level that a lot of people will be watching, I think more so than anybody, probably the shorts, is going to be this area right here at 23.75. Nothing is guaranteed, as I've said, and I'll probably continue to say throughout the video because I want to really drive that home because I'm not trying to imply that this is some sort of magic system. That doesn't exist. But you can see right here, bounce number one, bounce number two. So you once again have the potential double bottom. But a more attractive double bottom would have been what happened down here, right? Where you had the bottom here, and then you had the open this morning. And that was more so the double bottom. Here is within a general context of a lot more downwards pressure, which makes me think that there's probably going to be a lot of shorts that are watching this, myself included, as somebody that is not opposed to shorting things. And once more, in my mind, if this level falls, is it for sure going to, continue on downwards? Well, no, of course not. That's why stop losses matter. But is that like some sort of, would that be a mind-boggling event? Would that be some sort of move that's like, wow, I can't believe that happened? Absolutely not. So 23.75 is the level that I think a whole lot of people will be watching. And then as far as resistances are concerned, watch that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. You can see it's now rejected the price down a couple of times right there. Current value of that is right around $25.40. Next one here, AMC, which was a very bearish day, not because it was red, but because of, and I need to change to the daily time frame to illustrate this. So now each one of these represents 1 day's worth of price action as opposed to 30 minutes. But there had been this trend line right here that had been doing a good job, including right there on Monday, you can see the price actually stopped right around that blue trend line. But you can see today the price broke not only through that trend line, but also broke through this green line, which was a support level from way back here, going back to May of 2021. And as you see here, the price isn't anywhere close to either of these levels. It completely shattered down through all those areas. So going back to the 30-minute time frame here, I just wanted to illustrate how this general area up here was pretty important, technically speaking, and just got, absolutely obliterated today. So updates need to be done. Go ahead and get rid of these lines, as I just want to, throw them up there just for context sake. But the first update comes about based on a foundation rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. And I feel kind of like a broken record saying this, but literally every single day is the same on AMC. Lower lows, supports becoming resistance levels. And then, as I've said, still continue to watch that purple line up there, the 50-period moving average, which is right now valued at 1235. So 1150 and 1235 main levels of resistance. And then as far as supports are concerned, question really just becomes, well, where did the bleeding finally stop today? And that was down there at $9.90. So wow, dropped back into the single digits today. But $9.90 is going to be that near-term level of support. Again, nothing fancy other than the fact of that's just simply where the bleeding finally stopped today. Next one here, RGLS. Probably should have put this one in a different location watch list because it all goes along the philosophy of self-fulfilling prophecies, well-defined points. So again, not trying to impress you, not trying to imply some sort of special talent here, but I assure you, all sorts of people are watching 32 cents as a potential breakout area. I mean, generally speaking, you can see resistance a couple more times, resistance right there. So guarantees, of course not, but is it valid to think that if the price gets up there and breaks up through it, that would be considered a breakout and people may buy? Well, just because, hey, I'm a breakout trader, hey, look, that's breaking out, I'm going to buy. Yeah, that's what tends to happen with self-fulfilling prophecies. And then as far as supports are concerned, I'm just going to go ahead and draw this in here as one color. So again, we have resistance, we have support, we have the big momentum move right here. Let's put a little golf hole down here to make it more visual. This would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you're someone that likes to play bull pennants, if you like to play penny stocks, then this one definitely seems like one that belongs on your watch list. Next one, BWV, which just kind of looks goofy because the markets today got hammered once again. Yet this thing has actually just got a very nice upwards channel to it. So doing something that's, very, very much so not the normal right now within the market. So that in and of itself, in my mind, is worth at least keeping it on the watch list, especially if you like to play stocks down below the $10 mark, because this thing continues to trend upwards with these higher highs, or excuse me, well, yeah, both, I suppose, higher lows and higher highs, which as you've seen with a lot of these stocks, they're doing the exact opposite, lower highs and lower lows. So this one's trending upwards. So like I said, maybe that in some situations, maybe this would be a weak reasoning to put it on a watch list as it's trending up. But once again, when we take a step back and just consider the general market environment right now, trending up is something that a lot of stocks are not doing. So if you're looking for one that, is kind of fighting the overall atmosphere of the market, this is one that I'd keep an eye on. I was not planning on doing NIO, but I'm adding it now because this last 30 minutes here has made it was already bearish, but it becomes just that much more bearish because of this final 30 minutes. And the final 30 minutes, as you see, is now pushing down below that level of support, which up until the last 30 minutes had been doing a good job. The price leveled off there and was behaving as support. But now all of a sudden you have the price all the way down there and going lower as I speak. So, one of those events where it brings up the big question mark, is this the start of something even further to the downside? Which, again, unique situations. Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this is a false breakdown and it's going to snap right back up. But again, that's a two-sided coin. Maybe this is the start of something much bigger and it continues on downwards. But that goes back to the big question out there. Is this the start of something bigger? And you can't even ask that question unless you have something worthwhile happening in the first place. And in this situation, the worthwhile event from a technical point of view is the breakdown of that area of support right there, which now would be also considered a level of resistance. So if there are any initial bounces, 1285 would now be considered that first key level. I'll go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose now. But yeah, again, like I said, last 30 minutes, the price has been doing a good job of holding strong. But with the break here, let's see if this is the start of a new surge to the downside, or who knows, maybe some sort of snapback bounce comes over the next couple of days. Next one, ticker symbol DM. And I don't know if I've ever seen this one, or traded it. Regardless, so interesting setup, and to set up the context, and I'll say it the obvious, but again, just to build context, a brutal move, right? Price is just dropping, and then all of a sudden today, went sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because the price has been dropping, and then it went sideways does not mean that for sure guaranteed, okay, bottom's in, it's going back upwards. But again, going back to the whole topic of plausibility, is it plausible to think that this could be the bottom? Is it at least a rational thought process to put together? It absolutely is. So that does not mean that it is the bottom, but to throw out the question of, hey, maybe this thing is finally starting to bottom out, maybe there's some sort of bounce that's going to be coming, makes sense. But that's why you better be using risk management, because you don't want to turn into one of these bag holders where you're holding and hoping. But if you do like to kind of, bottom fish, look for situations where, okay, maybe finally after a big beat down, some sort of bottom is in. And even if it's just a temporary bottom where it leads to some sort of dead cat bounce where the price, goes back up and then rolls back over. Well, even that, there can still be, profitable opportunity as a trader within that general area right there. But point being, if you like to play bottom fishing, this is one to keep an eye on. Next one, COIN, Coin for Coinbase, had earnings, got destroyed. Very popular stock, borderline a cult stock out there. And these are the stocks where people look for just any reason at all to buy. Even if it's bad news, but it's not as bad of news, people will still buy. So these can lead to some very interesting tradable opportunities. And in this situation, the level that I think a lot of people will be watching, myself included, is that trend line right there. Meaning people, because you don't want to just randomly buy, right? You need to at least see at least some sort of potential strength, which leads to the question, okay, Clay, define potential strength, because those are just words. And that's fair criticism, but that's why I love charts, is because they allow you to take words and make them visual. So when I say potential strength, I just mean a break up through that trend line right there. Again, that doesn't mean that it is actual strength. It could just roll right back over. But our job as traders is to make not random decisions, and to base some sort of decision on that trend line by no means is random, especially when you know that there's odds are probably a good chance of some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy around that area. So keep a close eye on that. That's the main level that I'm watching. But really buying or trying to do anything before it can at least even break that trend line, you're almost basically catching a falling knife at that point, which can be very risky. Next one, TSLA, Tesla, traded every day. Well, I try to trade it every day. I keep an eye on it every day. Did trade it today, did fine with it. But this thing just continues to drop and drop and drop. And we have some very interesting dynamics here moving forward. But the first dynamic that needs to be updated and that I'll be keeping an eye on is this 752-ish area. Was a level of support, but with the price breaking down below it, would now be considered an area of resistance. And quite frankly, shocking in my mind. I was actually on the road when this was all occurring. But I would have thought there would have been some sort of bounce, but there really wasn't. It just broke below it, and then that rule kicked into play. That support acted as resistance again. So if there is any sort of attempted bounce back upwards, 750 will be that first key level of resistance. But now as far as the next key level of support is concerned, we got to go back. There we go. Oop, let me bring it. It's behind my ugly mug right now. But there we go. The next level that I assure you, everybody, their brothers, uncles, mailmans, dog sitters, butcher is watching, is right here at the $700 mark. Big round number, the bottom from back here several weeks ago. Does that come into play tomorrow? I mean, it's only $30-some away, and Tesla can move $30 in a day. So if it does, that's going to be a level where everybody will be watching it. Shorts are going to be watching it saying, hey, if that breaks, that could be a short. Longs are going to be watching it saying, hey, it's bounced before. Let's see if it bounces again. Both thought processes are valid. But that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. But at the core, and going back to what I started off the video talking about, the philosophy of a watch list, finding unique situations, Tesla going down to 700 would definitely be a very, very unique situation, and one that I'll be watching for sure. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can help you build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be very soon. Thursday, May 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, then do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment, say hi, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things communicate to me that you are enjoying these videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, then I will continue to put in the time and effort to create this content for you. So again, if you like what you saw, definitely get signed up for that free class, and hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. Everybody take care. Have a good one.